At that point, Shiloh allegedly slammed his elbow into Darjean's chest and continued to hit him after he fell. And at one point in time in the video, you can actually see the security guard on top of Shiloh Sanders. Barely, but you can see it. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hope all of you having a great start to your Saturday. Hope you're having a great start to your Memorial Day weekend. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And man, oh man, I also hope you guys are ready for some drama. Oh yeah, too, I realize I said good morning, but you'll be seeing this in the afternoon. You get the point. We have what I'm going to label as a really, and I mean a really interesting situation on our hands here, and it involves no other than the son of Deion Sanders, not Shadur, but Shiloh. It goes without being said, if you're a college football fan or you've been keeping up with the channel, you know Deion Sanders in Colorado, they've been the talk of the town the past year or so. Whether some people like this or not, the reality is you can't talk about college football without talking about Deion and what he's got going on over there. However, with that being said, in today's video, we're not here to talk about Coach Prime or Shiloh Sanders. We're here to talk about this crazy situation involving Shiloh. Although your boy Matt is a professional overreactor, I try not to overhype situations. So check out what some other people are saying about all this. Referring to Shiloh Sanders, why is he not in jail? He meant to put, if I did this, I'd be facing 20 years. But whoa, hold on. I know what I'm sitting here saying. Matt, what in the crap is going on with Shiloh for people to say stuff like that? That's a great question, my friend. We're going to talk all about it. You might want to strap in, buckle up, get your snack, get your popcorn for this video, because there's going to be some really interesting stuff, and it's going to be controversial. It all started with this report that came out yesterday, and I'll show it to you right here. Shiloh Sanders' NIL earnings have been called into question after declaring bankruptcy in court. You don't gotta be a rocket scientist to figure out why people are questioning Shiloh Sanders filing for bankruptcy, because remember, he's getting sponsorships and he's earning money in the NIL department. Just remember that it comes back into play later in this video and later in our story. To get a good understanding of what's going on here, we gotta take it back all the way to 2015. This is when, and I had no idea of this whatsoever, Shiloh Sanders, as a high school student, assaulted a security guard at his high school in 2015. Remember that. The security guard at the time, that goes by the name of John Darjean, sustained severe and permanent injuries, including a broken neck, damage to his cervical spine, permanent neurological injuries, and irreversible incontinence. I can't speak for you, form your own opinion, but that's crazy. It's not like he got into, when I say he, referring to Shiloh here, he got into a little scuffle with the security guard. No, the guy's got permanent injuries. To make a long story short, when all this was said and done with the court process, they awarded Darjean, the security officer that Shiloh allegedly assaulted, $11.89 million. I'm going to say that number one more time. The court awarded, and I'll highlight it for you right here, Darjean $11.89 million. But here's where things really, and I mean they really start to get interesting, and also a little wishy-washy or fishy for Shiloh Sanders. Darjean, in bankruptcy court filings, has also alleged that Sanders hasn't fully represented the totality of his assets. And what is not clearly represented are Sanders' NIL earnings, which Darjean has essentially alleged are being funneled through a pair of LLCs, Big 21 LLC and SS 21 LLC. What about that? And I'm not saying Shiloh's right for doing this, but that's a loophole. Kind of the similar situation if you remember what happened with Connor Stallions and Blake Corum, the running back. I don't want to get into all of this too much, but that's really just business 101. You don't want to attach or tie any of your money to yourself, to your government name. You want to attach it to the LLC. Then when you go to court for anything, like case in example here, you can say, oh yeah, well, I don't have any money. The LLC has all the money. Which if you're on the opposite side of this, like Darjean, and you see Shiloh Sanders flexing off all of his cars, watches, and you know he's getting money. I mean, he's in sponsorships and he's in commercials. It can be irritating because you know he's got the money. I digress. We'll come back to that in just a second. Let's continue along here. Quote unquote, on the surface, this omission is as glaring as it is preposterous because it is Shiloh's very NIL value and / or public value that are the source of the non-stop paid engagements and social media appearances. The entire underpinning of the NIL concept is the value of the individual athlete, but Shiloh chose not only to hide the value of the entire NIL endeavor with the quote-unquote unknown listings for the two of the entities that were to close, Big 21 LLC and / or SS 21 LLC, but Shiloh intentionally failed to identify and disclose his individual NIL property interests anywhere in the schedules. I know, trust me, I get it, that's a lot to take in, but I'm going to try to dumb all this down. Moving along here, most of the asset value in Sanders' disclosure stems from his Mercedes-Benz automobile and investments held in a Robinhood account, according to a disclosure obtained by Westward. And the total was down from October 2023 disclosure, where Sanders claimed $477,881 in assets, as his investment portfolio on Robinhood apparently didn't do well late last year. That last part just got done reading, doesn't matter too much. Here's all you need to know. Shiloh Sanders disclosed to the court that his net worth, quote unquote, is just shy of $325,000. That's all of his assets combined. That's what he's worth. You should know what net worth is. It's just everything combined. That's not liquid cash. That's everything you know. If you were to sell it in liquefy today, Shiloh Sanders would be worth $300,000. That is what he is claiming, and he's putting out there to the court. And the problem with that, Darjean, yet again, the security officer that Shiloh assaulted back in high school, is like, wait a minute, what are we doing here? This guy's a multi-millionaire. And I'll be honest with you, yeah, I mean, it's utterly ridiculous that Shiloh's claiming, oh yeah, my net worth's only $300,000. That's all I'm worth, man. And the reason he's saying that is because, remember, $11.89 million, that comes back into play here. Sanders, he lost that lawsuit. So he was ordered to pay Darjean nearly $12 million. And that is why, coming back into our current day and time, he's filing for bankruptcy, or he did. If any of you watching this video think Shiloh Sanders, or my apologies, you think his net worth is only $300,000, you're out of your mind, and you've lost your mind. That's not liquid cash. We're just talking about his net worth. To me, that's laughable. Shiloh Sanders, his net worth, he's a multi-millionaire. What Shiloh's doing here is no different from any of these billionaires avoiding taxes. You just funnel it through the LLC. Now, with that being said, let's talk about this, because I haven't spoken about it at all, and I know it's going to be a main focal point in the comment section. What about Shiloh Sanders beating up, allegedly, a security guard back in 2015? That's not just kind of crazy. It's just crazy. I didn't know that happened, and it's most definitely not a good look for Shiloh. For the people that are going to try to defend Shiloh in this, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, buddy, but there is no defending this, and I hate to say that because y'all know I love the Sanders family. The reason I say there's no defending it, he lost the case. The court said, oh yeah, you lost. You got to pay Darjean $12 million. To go into more detail here, here's what allegedly happened according to reports between Shiloh Sanders and the security officer. Court documents reportedly allege that Darjean escorted Shiloh to in-school suspension for violating the school's no-phone policy, at which point Shiloh called his mother. I believe her name is Pilar Sanders. Hope I'm saying that correctly. One of Dion's assistant coaches then arrived at Darjean's office and gave him a phone with Dion on the call. When Dion was told Shiloh was talking to Pilar, who divorced Dion in 2013, the coach told the guard to confiscate the phone. At that point, Shiloh allegedly slammed his elbow into Darjean's chest and continued to hit him after he fell. Darjean was taken to the hospital in an ambulance and later claimed he had quote-unquote suffered severe and permanent injuries, including a broken neck, damage to his cervical spine, and stuff we already read over. Shiloh reportedly admitted to an altercation in bankruptcy court, but denied parts of Darjean's claims, including Dion's instruction to take the phone. He also claimed he was acting in self-defense, with Darjean instigating the incident. Fascinating. So that's the backstory of all of this. I can't emphasize this enough. I'm not excusing his behavior, but I am giving him the benefit of the doubt because he was a high schooler. I'm not going to label you as a bad person because you do something stupid in high school, because we've all been there. When it comes to a young man who is 16, 17, 18, or 19 years old, I really try to give him the benefit of the doubt, because when I was that age, you don't think all your decisions through. You don't think about repercussions, and you act on the fly. So that's my take on that situation. I don't think any less of Shiloh. I think he's a great young man. And I know people are going to be outraged by that, saying, man, bro, I can't believe you're giving Shiloh the benefit of the doubt here, and you're saying he's still a great guy. Well, here's why I'm doing that. Let me explain something to you, buddy. Let me explain this to you, partner. He hasn't had any problems since then. At least not to my knowledge. So yeah, I have no problem looking at that situation from when he was 16, 17 years old, however old he was, and saying, you know what, he screwed up big time there, but he's been really good ever since then. Also, to another reason why I am giving Shiloh the benefit of the doubt in the situation, and I don't have too much opinion on the situation itself, is because we don't have video evidence. The only video evidence that was ever put out there was some blurry video where you can barely see them interacting in the corner. And the only thing you can actually see here, and it looks good for Shiloh from this standpoint, is the security guard grabbing him. And at one point in time in the video, you can actually see the security guard on top of Shiloh Sanders. Barely, but you can see it. Outside of that, there's nothing out here that shows Shiloh viciously attacked him or none of that. Listen, I'm not saying Shiloh didn't do it. I'm not saying he did. What I'm saying is we don't have video footage, so I can't give you my opinion or thoughts on it. That's all it really is for that. Like I stated, Shiloh hasn't had any problems since that incident, so I don't think he's a bad person. It was just one of those messy situations. I'm curious though. Let me know your thoughts on that down below. Now let's talk about this. Why did the security guard just now file this lawsuit? To me, this is the most captivating part about all of this. The incident happened in 2015, and he's just now filing a lawsuit. In other terms here, unless I'm missing something here, this guy waited and he sat back until Shiloh Sanders got a little bit of money and was like, all right, now it's time to sue him. Which I'm not saying the security guard's in the wrong here. According to the court, he is the victim. Remember, he won the court case. But it doesn't take away from the fact that it's interesting he waited this long to file the lawsuit. Maybe there's a reason he waited so long to do that. I have no idea. If you know anything about this, please fill us in the comment section. I'm just now learning about this story myself, so I could be missing some bits and pieces and some details to the story. Take a look at this comment. Flashing diamond watches and brand new cars at games and on social media. Declaring bankruptcy in the courtroom. The Colorado Clown Show continues. I could read off hundreds of these comments. You know what everybody's saying. I really don't have too much of an opinion on this situation. I'm just here to break the news to you. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts on all this down below. But, Roman.